Time for math again. We are on lesson 9.4. I would first like to introduce you to a couple new audience members. We have Cookie Monster. We have Orby. Orby is right here, one of my new Viking stuffed animals. All right, for this math lesson, you are going to need a couple things. You're going to need your math journal. You are going to need this study link right here, page 285. You are also going to need this page right here. Should be a white piece of paper in your folder. We'll use that a little later. You're also going to need your calculator, pencil, and probably your geometry template a little bit later on. So get all that out real quick. And we are going to start with some mental math. We haven't talked about these for a while, but we had talked a couple of weeks ago about how you can figure out 10% of something. So if somebody's having a sale on something and you want to know what 10% off would be, this 10% right here is super easy. I'm going to start way down here instead of doing these. 10% off, all you have to do is take off the zero. So pretend something was $60. It would look like this, $60. So take off a zero and move your decimal place over one spot. That would mean you would get $6 off, just like that. What would 20% of $60 be? This is double of 10%. So if 10% was 6, that means 20% would be 6 plus 6, which would be 12. We know what 50% of $60 is. That means you get half off. So you get $30 off. If something was $60, you get $30 off. And if something was 100% of 60, if you got 60 out of 60 on a math test, you got 100%. So that would be 60. I thought I'd just brush those up. We haven't seen those for a while. I would like you to turn. Oh, my projector is, we're going to try something else here. See if we can get this guy to work. There we go. Skip that one. Skip that one. I would like you to get your calculator out. We're going to experiment with the percent key on your calculator. So make sure you have your calculator available. And here's what you do. You take the numerator, which is the top number. Make sure you hit clear a bunch of times. Experiment with the percent key on your calculator. Find a way to rename 1/4 as a percent. Here's what you do. You take 1 divided by 4, and then hit the percent key instead of the equal sign. You should have a 25 in your screen. So 1/4 would be 25%. This fraction, how did you rename the fraction? We went 1 divided by 4, and then we hit the percent key. Our calculator looks a little different than this one. This is kind of a fancier one, but it still works on ours. We are going to use this. So in this lesson, you're going to use your calculators and mental arithmetic to solve discount number stories. I would like you to turn right now and see if you can figure out how to complete 256, 257. All right, so I'm on 256. I'm going to do most of these with you just because they're a little bit tricky. We have not done these as a class. The store is offering a discount of 10% on all items. 10%. You just take off that zero, move the decimal place over. This means that you're going to save 1/10 of the regular price. Find the sale price of each item below. The sale price is the amount you pay after subtracting the discount from the regular price. First of all, the item that you buy, we have a graph here or a table. We have the item, we have how much it is regular price, what our discount is, and we have the sale price, how much we're going to actually pay for that item. So we bought a CD player. It was $140. So think of it this way. $140, I'm going to take off that zero. That means I'm going to get $14 off. On your calculators, do 140, subtract your discount, which would be 14. 140 subtract 14. You should end up with 126. Ooh, you came into some money, you're going to go buy yourself a giant screen TV. we want to know what 10% off is. So it is $1,200. Let's take off that 0. I get $120 off. On your calculator, take $1,200, that's the original price, but I'm going to save $120, so I'm going to subtract that $120, and I should end up with $1,080. Okay, this time I bought a radio for $80, but again, I get 10% off. So I'm going to cross off the 10 on the end. That means I'm going to have a savings of $8. So 80 take away 8 is 72. Now, we have something different. This time we know what the discount is, but we don't know the regular price. So let's see if we can figure out, we have a 14 here, but 140 here. We have 120 here, but a 1,200 here. Do you see how they're just adding a 0 to each of these? Right there. A 0 to that. So this should be, if we added a 0 to the 3, we should have $30. $30 take away $3 is $27. Use a number model to show how you explain. Use a number model to explain how you found the discount and sale price for the radio. So we did 80, take away 8, let's have dollar signs here, is $72. 10% equals $8 off, or savings. There we go. Good job. This time, number 3. Ooh, we get 25% off. This time, an airline offers a 25% discount on the regular fare for tickets purchased at least 1 month in advance. Find the sale price of each ticket below. So now this one's a little trickier. 25%, I always think of 4. There's 4 quarters in a dollar, there's 4 quarters in a football game. So 25, I automatically think of 4, just because of that 4 quarters in a dollar. I need 4 25% to get to 100%. So we have regular airfare is $400. If I divided that into 4 parts, that means each part would be worth $100. 25% off of $400 is $100. I divided this by 4 to figure out what 25% off. So my original airline ticket was $400. I'm going to take away $300. Take away $100. I get $300 left that I have to pay. Same thing for $240. Let's see if we can figure out $240. We don't need our stinking calculators for this. I'm going to divide it by 4 because 25%. 4 can't go into 2. Subtract, bring it down. 4 can go into 24 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. Bring it down. Ooh, I have zeros all here. You think that we're done, but no. We have to have a number over here. We have 3 numbers right here. We only have 2 numbers up there in their quotient. So 4 can't go into 0. 0 times 4 is 0. Now we are done. So my discount, 240 divided by 4 is $60 off. That means I'm going to have to pay $180. All right. And we are not going to do this one. There we go. Okay. And you may skip this one right here. You may skip number 4. Just for the sake of time. All right, and you may cross off number 5. That is an extra practice. Number 5 can be done, crossed off. And number 6 you may cross off. Lots of things to cross off today. All right. So this is going to be your work time right now, so you're going to have a couple things that I would like you to do on your own. First of all, you're going to need, in order to do this little graph right here, you're going to need this little page that I copied out of your SRB. It should say 302 at the bottom. It's got 3 different tables on it. This is the information that you're going to use in order to create this graph. So it says use the subscriptions per 100 people. Data in the cellular phone telephone use table at the bottom of student reference book 302 to complete the bar graph. So this is the area that you're going to use in order to create this bar graph. Let's look at our axes. We have the name of the country down here at the bottom. We have the subscriptions per 100 people on the side. Looks like they go by twos, 90, 92, 94, 96, 98, 100. That means in the middle here, in between of those, then they're counting by ones. So this would be 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97. You get the gist. So please complete that. There's that same page right there. So you're looking at, here's Taiwan, number of telephone subscriptions in the millions. You're looking at this number right here, 110 and 8/10. So see if you can figure out about where that would go on the graph. All right. Then you want to answer a question that can be answered by looking at the data that you displayed in the bar graph. Like, for example, you could say, which country had the highest subscriptions per 100 people? You could say, in comparison between Spain and the United Kingdom, how many more did Spain have? How many more subscriptions did Spain have? In comparison, Canada and the United States, which country had more subscriptions, Canada or the United States, for cellular telephone service? That would be one of those questions that you could generate from this bottom part of page 302, or your graph that you just created. All right, then we are on math boxes. We are going to complete the table with equivalent names. Please put your name on this. Stop, wait a minute. Make sure you put your name on every single thing that we've done today, including all of the math pages. That's going to help me complete the table with equivalent names. 3/4. Ooh, there's that fourth again. I automatically think that each of these parts is worth 25. So 3/4 would be 0.75. You can figure out what the percent is. Have you ever gotten a 6/10 or a 6 out of 10 on an AR test? Sure you have. Have you ever gotten a 1 out of 10 on an AR test? I hope not, but maybe it's happened. And then we have 50%, so you have to give me the decimal for 50% and the fraction for 50%. There's lots that you could use here. You could use half. That's probably the one that's underneath the star. You could use 10/20ths. You could use 50/100ths. Anytime the numerator is exactly half of the denominator, that means 1/2. Number 2, about 1.96% of the words on the internet are the word a, and about 81 or 0.81% of the words are it. What percent of the words on the internet are either a or it? Please show your work in this box. Remember to line up the decimals first. Then if you have blank spaces, then you can put the zeros in those blank spots. Number 3. 2 feet 7 inches is close to what answer? So 2 feet, I'm going to break this into friendlier numbers. 1 foot is 12 inches. That means 2 feet, 24 inches, plus I have 7 more inches. So I would add 7 inches to 24 and I'd get 31. Which one of these is closest to 31? Haha, but you can figure that out. Number 4, 3 girls cut a pizza into 12 equal slices and plan to share the pizza equally. What fraction of the pizza should each girl get? How many girls are there? There are 3. How many pieces of pizza altogether? There are 12. So that means each girl would get 1/3. How many slices will each girl get? Wonder how we got 4 slices. Hopefully you're kind of figuring out what we're doing here. So each girl, if you can figure this out, we have 3 girls. Each girl gets 1 part of that. So that's where that fraction came, 1/3. The slices, 1/3 of 12. Watch this magic. I know that you know what this looks like once I write it. 1/3 of 12. First you divide. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And 4 times 1 is 4. Suppose 2 more girls arrived, and how many slices would each of the girls get now? There's 5 girls. We're going to skip that one. I'm going to give you that. 2 2/5. Find the area and the perimeter of a rectangle. Area equals base times height. Area equals base times height. Perimeter, distance on the outside all the way around. And what temperature is this? Ooh, again, I don't want to be in that temperature. Make sure that you're putting it negative for this one, because look at, we are below 0. That means we are negative something. Make sure you have that negative sign in the front. All right, that is it. Here's your last thing that you're going to complete today. You're going to complete the fraction and decimal study link. Again, you get to use your calculator on this, so this should not be super hard. Numerator divided by denominator on the top. And it says, do not use your calculator right here, but you may use your calculator in that part too. So use your calculator, use your calculator. Tell me how you did this on your calculator. Show me the steps. You can even label the steps. Number 1, denominator, numerator divided by denominator. Calculator, and then you won't need the calculator for this. Put those in order. Think about, when you're doing these, think about the ones that are close to a half. Put those in the middle, or exactly a half. Put those in the middle, and then decide from either side. Remember, if you're not sure if there's 2 fractions that are really close to each other, you can always try and use the butterfly method for those. All right. Hope you have a great day. This is the end of math for today.